Hey guys, what's going on? So today I want to talk to you about corrective exercise and why it's important. Now look, for those of you who are about to click off the video because you don't care about corrective exercise, stop right there. This is what I'm going to tell you right now. You want to change the way you want to work out, you want to change the way your body moves, you want to change how many calories you're burning in your workouts or how many muscle tears you're making so that you can get bigger, thicker, stronger striations. This is the stuff that you're going to want to hear because quite frankly, too much of us lack mobility. Too much of us lack fiber activation. Too many of us have muscular imbalances that are holding us back from our optimal potential. And these are the things that I'm going to say right now to try to keep this brief. First and foremost, corrective exercise is single-handedly one of the most taxing things you will ever go through. Whatever you want to think about it, it is going to be the most taxing thing you will go through if you're doing it correctly. Now, for instance, I'm going to use myself and I'm going to use Jimmy, one of our sponsored athletes, as two examples. For myself, 2 years ago, I broke my ankle. You guys already know this story. I've told it to you multiple times before. Calf, that muscle had seized up and tightened to restrict that area from its movement because it was in protection mode. It wanted to save my calf. It wanted to save my ankle because the fib had been broken. So then once the fibula was broken, the calf was like, oh shit, we got to help it out. So it tightened up. After the calf tightened up, what had seemed to happen is that my hamstring started to join the party and tighten up with it. This rendered my left glute completely out of whack. Now, this is the funny thing about this, guys. You would never think about how strong a butt can be and also how much of a use having a strong butt can be. Because you look at that muscle and you say, oh my god, what can that really be used for? It's just for show, with these women, right? Wrong. The glutes are probably one of your most essential and most strong suited muscle if conditioned correctly. They're going to aid you in your bench press, they're going to aid you in your deadlift, your squat, your crunches, whatever you're doing. Your glutes are going to be the dominant force of everything you're doing because it's going to be the thing driving your pelvis. It's going to be the thing rotating the pelvis to get abdomen contractions, and it's going to be the thing that stabilizes your whole body from the midline. So yeah, your glutes are a big deal, but in America and in society, Japan, wherever the hell you are, your glutes are oftentimes neglected because you're sitting on them all day, elongating them all day, so they're not firing the right way. So whether you're squatting, you're deadlifting, you're benching, whatever you're doing, you're not as stable, you're not as strong, you're not as smooth with the motion. Just because of this one little thing called an imbalance. Now the thing that corrective exercise will do is that we will find ways as health and fitness professionals to eliminate the tight restricted area. For instance, my area was my hamstring and my calf. So I need to free up those two muscles in order for my glute to want to work and to activate properly during certain movements, during certain exercises. So once I had started to free up my hamstring and free up my calf, I could start squeezing and tightening my glutes. Now the thing about this is when they're dormant, they're going to do this crazy thing where as you start to tighten them up, they're going to start shaking uncontrollably. And this might frighten the normal person because you're doing a movement and you're shaking uncontrollably and now you're like, oh my god, I must be doing something wrong, this doesn't feel right. Well look guys, if the muscle's not conditioned in that format that it should be, then it's going to start shaking a lot. And what this is going to do is it's going to enhance how many calories you're burning, how many muscle fibers you're starting to get igniting, and how well you can really move. Because the better you can move, the more you can sculpt your body the way you want it to be, whether it's weight gain, weight loss, or whatever. So when you're getting that muscle into that shaking portion, you want to keep holding it and holding it and holding it, and eventually you're going to start to feel some kind of sensation there. Because the funniest thing is you're not going to feel that muscle for a while. It's just going to feel like nothing. You're just going to be like, I'm squeezing it, but I don't feel anything there. And after a while, that lagging and atrophied muscle is going to start waking up. And then out of nowhere, it's going to start screaming, and it's just going to be insane. Because now you've got this muscle that's shaking your whole body, and now it's screaming in pain, and it's so freaking insanely painful. Because now it's sending a signal saying, hey, I haven't been used like this before. I'm starting to tear up, man. I don't know what you think I'm doing, but you're squeezing me too hard. And now you're getting to this point where you're using a muscle in a capacity you never used it. Now, this is going to be your best bet towards breaking plateaus, towards gaining, losing weight, whatever you want to do, because you're activating the body in a way that it has not been conditioned to. So this corrective exercise that you could be doing could actually be the thing that might be saving all of your lifts. Now, the other example I want to say is Jimmy, our sponsored athlete. he's gotten pretty good because over the past couple of months we've been working on his posture and working on his muscular engagement, and we've been really tackling down on that. And I'll tell you right now, some of the things that we've been doing with him are with minimal to no weight, and he'll even say it firsthand if you ever meet him. The exercises that we do with him, they completely kick his ass. More than any hardcore 3-hour workout he does. We'll sit there for an hour and we'll do mobility, and I'll be prying apart the knots in his chest and in his shoulders, because in the beginning he did bro science. He just did a ton of chest and shoulders like everybody of us, you know? All us guys, we see, oh, how much you bench? And it's just the typical thing. So now we're tearing apart that damage and we're tightening muscles that haven't been tightened before. And so now the body's going through a ton of neurological stress, and it's like, oh my God, what are you doing? Are you mad? And so now Jimmy's been getting these crazy 1-hour workouts that completely fry him. He feels fatigued. He doesn't want to do anything else anymore after that. And he's done. He says, all right, dude, is that it? Because I don't know if I can handle more. And now, if you think about when you typically go into the gym with somebody like him, they're going to be the guy that says, oh, come on, is that all you got? And they'll keep going 2 hours, 3 hours. And they're just nonstop. But it's like, it's blasphemy. Like, how can they do that? But you put these people through a corrective exercise kind of workout, and you get them to engage things they haven't engaged in a while, and yeah, they're going to be screaming, they're going to be crying, they're going to be sore. Because he was sore for 5 days after we worked on that chest. And I will tell you, he told me that there was no pain like that he had ever experienced. And it's true, because when you get put through these excruciating, painful, traumatic workouts, there's something that you will have never done to yourself, first off, because you should have been getting it done by a professional who's certified to do corrective exercise, and it's just something that you never find, because in today's day and age, personal trainers seem to forget what corrective exercise is and how fundamental it is, because everybody seems to go to the gym these days just to break a sweat. Well, let me warn you firsthand that breaking a sweat is just your body overheating. It doesn't really mean that you're burning more calories or less calories than the guy over there screaming because his hamstring is being pried apart, okay? And then on top of that, after the corrective exercise portion, those muscles that have been torn apart, they are going to be sore for, like I said, maybe up to 5 days, because look at him. And he eats well too, let me remind you that. He eats really exceptionally well. So those 5 days, that muscle's trying to repair and repair and repair. And what do you think you're doing when you're repairing a muscle? You're expending resource, which is your energy. So then, therefore, you're burning extra calories on the day that you didn't even work out. So I want you guys to keep all this in mind, because a lot of people are deterred away from corrective exercise because they think, oh my God, it's so boring. I'm just going to sit here stretching all the time and that's it. I just don't want to do it because it's lame. I just want to lift and I want to get big and I want to do this. Get out of that ego and let's get some things rolling. So start doing some mobility training, guys. Go check out our mobility series. And as always, take it easy.